Karina says go. Good morning. Welcome to the Treasure Coast Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Stuart, Florida. Happy Hanukkah. It starts this evening, December 14th, and ends on December 22nd, this year, 2025. My name is Janet Grote, and I'm your worship associate today. We are a welcoming congregation. We welcome people of all gender identities, ages, backgrounds, recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We are here to celebrate, affirm, and to put into action the interconnected living mission of the Unitarian principles you'll find printed on the back of your order of service. At this time, silence your cell phones. Visitors, I don't know if I see any brand new visitors. But, oh, yes, she's not exactly brand new, but she's very important.
Hi, I'm Rose and Jay's daughter. My name is Bliss, and I live in north of Boston. It's very cold up there, so it's nice to be here.
And tell us why you're here.
I'm here to be part of this beautiful community that my family shares with everybody here.
Thank you, Bliss. And not a visitor, but a true UU. Barney Miller's been here for a long time. Come up, there's so many people that we haven't seen you for a while, and there's new people. So, an introduction.
Good morning, everybody.
Yay!
I'm Barney, and I've been sitting on the couch for the last couple of years, so I'm back.
Yay! Oh, Deb Harris. And James Baumgartner. Would you like to introduce yourselves, James' parents? James Baumgartner is, is here. Woo. This is James, yes. Let's see, over here, yeah, thank you.
No hiding. We're James' parents. I'm Paul. This is TT. She's from China, and I'm from Michigan. So, but I've been living in Florida for about 20 years, and our son James is actively playing in youth symphony and in school orchestra, and he really enjoys guitar, bass, and
Yeah, welcome. We've got announcements. Of course, see the printed order of service and the newsletter for the complete details. After today's service, there will be a gift boutique in Heston Hall sponsored by Shari Louise. Tuesday is our brown bag lunch at Popleton Creek Park just down the street. Join us at high noon. On Sunday, the 21st, we'll include a special choir performance of Pechel's Canon of Peace. Taco Bells. Taco Bell? Jackie, tell me the right pronunciation. Taco Bell, okay. I didn't practice that one. And of course, it's going to be accompaniment by the Treasure Coast Youth Symphony, Jackie's students. So do feel free on the 21st.
There'll be a flute player and young cellist. She will be a cellist. And you've seen them before, some of you. So you're watching them go from and also see their improvement and progress. So it'll be very, very sweet.
Be wonderful. Following the service on the 21st, you are all invited to join in the repertoire of our traveling carolers as we trek out to sing to our homebound congregants. We'll carpool from the parking lot after coffee. Not me. You don't want to hear me sing. On December 24th, Christmas Eve at 5:30, please join us here in the sanctuary for carols and our special traditional Christmas Eve reading from the Velvet Rabbit. Velveteen Rabbit, How Toys Became Real. This singing celebration, it should not be missed. Then, of course, cookies in the social hall. And finally today, after coffee and cookies, dips, oh, we have dips and crackers too. You can browse for your gifts.
Oh,
Yeah.
go Christmas shopping,
Yeah.
according to Shari.
And a big thanks for those who helped with the service. James Brogardner, Jackie Robbins, Sandy Craig, our ushers, our tech support, Karina Poloni. Our hospitality team is Joanne Leone. She has lots of help, okay. And Jay Lucas is in the pulpit today. His sermon is titled, The Fine Art of Not Knowing. Jay moved to South Florida as a young child. Oh, he sat down. Did you all see him? Jay Jay moved to South Florida as a young child and graduated from Martin County High School. He met Jim in 2011. They got married down the street at Unity in 2016 and have loving friends and family here and in New England. Jay earned a degree in finance from Stetson and an MBA from Wharton and had a long business career. He retired in 2018 and got to spend a few years pursuing his lifelong joy, aviation, finishing his work life flying Citation business jets. Wow. His last flight was Barbados to Stewart. Now he does finance work for the House of Hope as a volunteer, not to mention pitching in here a lot. While this may be interesting information, none of this qualifies him to give sermons. So he requests in advance that you cut him a break. Now we're going to have our prelude. It's going to be a double one with James and Jackie.
so many different ways, and often they'll turn around that one chord and make it from major to minor.
Yes.
And sometimes they make it from minor to major. So it's always intriguing to me to find different versions of it. In fact, we have a cello version of it that we may or may not play later. Now James is going to put his pace down over here and delight you with a beautiful piece of a 3-minute short piece by a Japanese composer, and I believe it's called Confessions of Moonlight.
Confessions of Moonlight.
Yeah, and you will be slightly astounded.
Thank you, James Baumgarten. We're going to light our chalice now. We are in the midst of the season of celebration. Celebrations of the Festival of Lights, the birth of new hope, the darkness of the year lifting, and the time of light grows longer. We light this chalice with the anticipation of hope for peace on earth. Opening words. Our ancestry arose in the ancient seas, first life forms drinking light. Our family evolved, senses, roots, limbs, scales, minds. We raced across the world in glorious green, stretched aloft the canopy, spread wings to take to the skies. We made simple tools to shape the world. We befriended our enemy, fire, and painted horses on the cave wall. We sang, we loved, we gazed. We gazed up at the mysterious stars. We tried to understand what had created us and why we are here. We suffered. Once again, we raced across the world, changed colors, befriended the field and the wolf. We built shelters, which grew into palaces. We fought and died, yet still we sang. We mapped the constellations. Our ancestries rose in the ancient sea of the stars. That was by Laurie Stevens. Now we'll have our first hymn, number 112. Please stand if you're willing and able for Do You Hear? Our affirmation. Let us recite our affirmation, speaking the first verse and singing the second. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Now, Jay Lucas is going to lead us in a responsive reading, number 650, Cherish Your Doubts.
Good morning. Cherish your doubts. Cherish your doubts, for doubt is the attendant of truth. Doubt is the key to the door of knowledge. It is the servant of discovery. A belief which may not be questioned binds us to error, for there is incompleteness and imperfection in every belief. Doubt is the touchstone of truth. It is an acid which eats away the false. Let no one fear for the truth, that doubt may consume it, for doubt is a testing of belief. The truth stands boldly and unafraid. It is not shaken by the testing. For truth, if it be truth, arises from each testing stronger, more secure. Those that would silence doubt are filled with fear. Their houses are built on shifting sands. But those who fear not doubt and know its use are founded on rock. They shall walk in the light of growing knowledge. The work of their hands shall endure. Therefore let us not fear doubt, but let us rejoice in its help.
It is now time for our joys and sorrows. Please step up to the microphone to speak. Tell us your name first, and Judy will move a stone in our symbolic river of life to mark each joy and sorrow. Please keep it personal and exercise brevity if you can. Bob is watching. Bob is watching.
Hi, I'm Tia. Which way does the camera face? Oh, good. Okay, I have an announcement of joy. Today is Bob's birthday, so I'm going to ask you all to sing happy birthday with me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bob. Happy birthday to you. And
John.
I'm John, and I wanted to thank everybody who was able to attend on Friday to see an event featuring my band, Stubborn Bastards. Can we say that in church? and I want to especially thank my colleagues in the choir, who just made up a huge portion of the people there, and that was just wonderful. Thanks.
David.
Hi everyone, David Blizzard. It's a joy to come back to Stewart from Pennsylvania. I had a wonderful trip down on the auto train through, in the early evening, through the Chesapeake Bay area, and then through snow in Virginia. It was really pretty. But I'm glad to be here and look forward to sharing with you in the next few months.
Jim.
Good morning, I'm Jim Rose. And my joy is that my darling daughter Bliss is visiting, and she's getting married at the end of February in Jonathan Dickinson State Park at the river. And so she's here for a few days. We're doing some logistics planning and stuff, and she was born and raised here, and it's always a joy to have her. So I just at that stage. Thank you.
Anyone else? For those. Barney.
Barney, and I just recently
Closer to life.
came.
Closer to life.
Oh, I'm Barney. I just recently came back from a second trip to the continent of Africa. The first trip was to Kenya, the second trip was to Ghana. I have a new understanding of who I am.
Oh. Now, for those whose joys or sorrows are too private to share, know that our hearts are with you. Now it's time for the Spirit of Life, number 123 in our hymnal.
You want to announce it? We hum it the first time and then sing it the second time through, for those of you who are watching.
A short meditation from Pema Chodron. Nothing is fixed. As human beings, we are as impermanent as everything else is. Every cell in the body is continuously changing. Thoughts and emotions rise and fall away unceasingly. When we're thinking that we're competent or that we're hopeless, what are we basing that on? On this fleeting moment? On yesterday's success or failure? We cling to a fixed idea of who we are, and it cripples us. Nothing and no one is fixed.
It's time for our offering. Our ushers, Janet and Jim, are going to come up. And of course, today, we're going to be passing a second basket for your generous donations made to the House of Hope for this holiday season. We thank our social justice team for organizing this special collection. Thank you. With these gifts, which we freely give and gratefully receive, we say yes to the values of our faith as Unitarian Universalists. Thank you for your offerings, your pledges, and thank you, Jackie and James. Oh, Sandy too. Now here's Jay Lucas for the sermon.
My title today is The Fine Art of Not Knowing. I'm going to talk a little bit about my path here, how Jim and I came to think of this as our spiritual home. I'm going to talk a little bit about the beauty of skepticism and the beauty of wonder. And hopefully there's something useful, not too boring. At most, it's 15 minutes. So. And Roger Head has informed me that if I keep him awake, I'm already doing better than Bob. So Roger, I'm watching. All right. My path here, my history is Lutheran Methodist Episcopalian. Wow. Growing up, the multi-denominational part isn't that interesting. I was just glad we weren't Catholic. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm not knocking Catholics. I married a Catholic, right? But I remember in third grade, a classmate came up to me and he said, he told me about the story about his older brother going to confession for the first time, and I was terrified that I was going to have to do the same thing. And I was basically a good kid. I read the Bible every night. I went to church every Sunday. I was a good kid, except there were a couple fires. One of them was very small, But my youth, I would summarize it by saying I had a lot of learning, not a lot of knowing. In college, like a lot of kids, I put aside my religious upbringing and was very enamored of psychology, sociology, philosophy, surveys of world religions. I went to Stetson, which at the time was run by the Southern Baptist Convention. And that meant for college kids two things. One, no alcohol, and no co-ed dorms. So this was my first exposure to how dogma can blind people to things that are right in front of them. They thought that they would save us by not mixing boys and girls, and here I am, a college kid, a gay college kid, and they put me in the only dorm with the entire Stetson baseball team. Go figure. So college was also a lot of learning, not a lot of knowing. But I did have this desire to solve the puzzle, to put together what I learned as a child about religion and what I learned about psychology and all the secular things I was taught. And I just had this yearning to have this grand theory that I would live my life with about what religion was to me, and which is pretty pompous when you think about it, especially for somebody who was there as a business major. When I was in my 30s, I did two important things on my way to the fine art of not knowing. One was I went to the Unitarian Church and I had a course called Design Your Own Theology. So there was a little more learning about things I hadn't heard about, numerology, past life regression, things like that. So that was good. And then I did some work with somebody called Stanislav Grof. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of him. He's a Czech-born psychiatrist who believed that you could achieve altered states of consciousness naturally, right? And the way this works is you get 30 people for a long weekend at a retreat, and you pair them off, and one person is the sitter and the other person is the breather. And what you do is the sitter sits with the person who's breathing, and they spend hours with this really deep breathing, holotropic breathing, which is basically severe hyperventilation. right? And you kind of enter this like altered state. So it was a perfect solution for people like me who wanted to sort of have that access to the subconscious without dropping any acid. I was too chicken to drop acid. So, and at the end, you drew mandalas, you shared them with each other, and you learned a lot. Again, a lot of learning, not a lot of knowing. In my 40s, I was basically a garden variety Episcopalian. In 2011, I met Jim. We went to Unity down the street. We would go at the 8 a.m. Sunday service to hear John Polici and his pantheistic ruminations, which is really wonderful, and we decided to get married there, and John married us. Got a little bit of that for our wedding ceremony. A few years ago, Jim and I started what we came to call our spirit group. I don't know if any of you remember that, but the first day we came here, Jim kind of talked at the microphone a little bit about our spirit group, which was us and two lovely women about our age, and we met every other Sunday for 2 hours and talked about everything about spirituality and religion. Where we'd been, what we'd learned, what we kept, what was important to us. Jim did a thing on the science of mind. He talked about the Center for Spiritual Living, where he was very involved. And I thought when I started that this would be the chance to get to knowing. And this was only a few years ago, right? And I think what I really got out of that was that I don't really need to know. That it's not critically important that you know the answers or have some kind of grand unified theory about what it all means. So that's the journey. I still don't have certainty about much. It really sunk in that it was okay. I had a lot of learning and experiences and questions. And what a setup to become a Unitarian, right? We walked through that door and felt right at home, no certainty required. So I wanted to say a little bit about how Unitarianism does this, or kind of ponder it a little. Is it a religion? Is it a philosophy? Is it a practice? I want to read a quote from this ridiculously fat book. It's by an author who Bob has quoted before, that was recommended to me by a dear friend. See if you recognize it or can think who it is. Philosophy, as I shall understand the word, is something intermediate between theology and science. Like theology, it consists of speculations on matters as to which definite knowledge has so far been unascertainable. But like science, it appeals to human reason rather than to authority, whether that of tradition or that of revelation. All definite knowledge, so I should contend, belongs to science. All dogma, as to what surpasses definite knowledge, belongs to theology. But between theology and science, there's a no man's land, exposed to attack from both sides. This no man's land is philosophy. Almost all the questions of most interest to speculative minds are such as science cannot answer, and the confident answers of theologians no longer seem so convincing as they did in former centuries. Does that ring a bell for anybody? It's somebody, yeah, it's Russell.
Somebody got
it. Yeah. I remembered Bob quoting from him a few times. I got this from a friend who actually, Justin, who convinced me that it was the way that he went to sleep each night by reading a little Western philosophy. So is it a philosophy? So I just made a list. I'll just go through it real quickly. What signifies a philosophy? Well, it draws from reason, logic, experience, and dialogue. It uses many sources, including science, ethics, religions, humanism. It encourages questioning. Sounds kind of you. Our roots are in the Enlightenment. We quote from the back of this hymnal, wherever it is, that people like Emerson, Parker, and Thoreau, each of whom insisted that each person must find truth for themselves. That's what drew me to the Philadelphia church. They didn't tell me what the truth is, they invited me to go find it. And it's clearly more than a philosophy. Philosophy alone doesn't bring people together on Sunday to move stones for their joys and sorrows. Philosophy doesn't get us to sing together. It doesn't get us to comfort each other about losing Pam or Bill. Philosophy doesn't always provide the rituals that help us embody our values. And on the other hand, like religions, we have rituals, songs, covenants, ministers. We have a choir now. We have a flaming chalice. The flame isn't just a symbol of enlightenment, it's a symbol of community. We light it ritually to remind ourselves that even amid our differences, there's a shared light that we create together. A web of relationships, a circle of compassion, a mystery. If that's not religion, what is? In this sense, UU is deeply religious, gathering us not around a single belief, but a principled, shared commitment to search, to care, to belong. So the important part of this, so what is it? Well, I'd summarize it by saying to each his own, which fits with the there's no one answer. For some of us, Unitarianism is our religion, the place we come for spiritual grounding, for ritual, to experience the sacred. For others, it's a philosophy, a way of life, a moral compass. And for many of us, it's both, an evolving dance between head and heart, belief and doubt, knowing and wonder. For me, I like this last approach, that there aren't answers, but asking the questions and being together is what makes it mysterious and wonderful. Religion and philosophy share an element that's at the heart of both, which is wonder. That's where not knowing fits. That is the fine art of not knowing. Wonder, awe. Not knowing means not a faith in dogma, a creed, or stories, but faith in the unfolding of things. We don't know what happens at the end. It might be lights out, computer off, but it might not. The point isn't to solve it, but to live with it. Go with the beauty of wondering. Watch everything unfold. I don't know isn't the end of a conversation, it's the beginning. So I have a short story from the Sufi tradition that I'd like to share with you. A man goes to a wise teacher and asks, "Tell me, is there a God?" The teacher says, "Go and pray until you no longer ask the question." Years later, the man returns. "Now I know there is a God." The teacher says, "Go and pray until that certainty leaves you." Years later, "Now I know there is no God." The teacher smiles. "Go and pray until that certainty leaves you too." Finally, the man returns, old now, eyes full of laughter and tears. He says, "I no longer know anything." And the teacher says, "Now you are beginning to pray." So that's the invitation. Live the question, befriend the mystery, trust that not knowing is a feature, not a bug. Here we are, Unitarians, seekers, guests, doubters, believers, theologians, scientists, atheists, all sitting in this sanctuary. And so here is a closing meditation or prayer or contemplation or worship, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Don't have to know. And there's nothing wrong with that. Please do close your eyes, everybody except Roger. May we go forward not with certainty, but with curiosity and courage. May we find the strength to rest in the unknowing. May we remember that mystery itself is full of wonder. And may we trust that sometimes the holiest prayer we can offer is simply, wow. The hymn is 326.
Thank you, Jay. And to summarize, to question is the answer. After the closing words, we will have prelude, or postlude rather, and then we'll go into the social hall for coffee and lots of food in there today, I do believe, so you can spend some time shopping.
Right.
As we extinguish this flame, may we carry its smoke forward with us into the streets, into places where holiness is hard to see, but is waiting to be noticed. Let us go with open eyes for wonder in the worn out, with reverence for each passerby, and the knowing that the sacred does not hide from the world. It lives in it. Go now, not to escape the brokenness, but to journey beside it, sometimes to bless it.
Johann Sebastian Bach's first solo suite for cello in G major, for those of you who would like to know.
Oh, Janet.